All right, and we're back. We're back and better than ever. Okay, let's continue.
Becoming more and more of a science where we are able to say what the best people in the team do and have more folks to be more like them. I think there's just a maturity when it comes to use case prosecution. I think the third piece, which is what gives us confidence about new products, is then how all of these come together in how things are multiplexed over from the product team to the sales team. I mean, at the end of the day, it's unreasonable for Christian or I to expect that one salesperson is going to know about the 400 things that we launched last year. It's just not a thing. And so we increasingly have specialist teams that know what it is to take, for example, clean rooms to the 24 most important customers that they must reach this year, say, compared to pretty much all of our customers who we think can benefit from key data engineering features or key AI features. I think it is that maturity of and the ability to take the right feature to the right customer to create value that I think positions us overall better. And the final thing that I'll add on here is that we've also cleaned up how we work with partners. Definitely ISVs, but also system integrators. And I think you will see more progress on that side as well. So we are very proud that our ISV partners like Relational AI or Kumo or, of course, Blue Yonder, with whom we have a fairly deep partnership, are succeeding along with Snowflake. So it's a multifaceted effort, but they build on the same core primitives of great product, a sales team that knows how to execute at scale, and an ability to thoughtfully overlay new things that we should be doing on what is a very large sales force.
Super helpful and really clear. Mike, maybe one for you while we still have you. The guide for next year, it does seem like it's starting, I think you've gotten this question a few different ways. It's starting at a stronger place than if I look a year ago. If we look a year ago, when you were incorporating maybe some iceberg risk. So to the extent that you can put a finer point on that confidence that you have to put that guide out there, again, implying some acceleration. You mentioned or Sridhar mentioned some new products potentially ramping in the second half from a contribution standpoint. How do we think about iceberg as a tailwind or a headwind in that guide? How do we think about NRR stabilization at 126 in the context of that guide? Any finer points you put on it?
Yeah, first of all, I think NRR is pretty stable. I'm not saying it's not going to go to 125 or 124, but I don't really see it. It's going to be in the mid 120s is what we are predicting. In terms of iceberg, we're really now seeing iceberg as more of a tailwind than a headwind as it's opening up so much more data for us. We've yet to see massive amounts of data move out of Snowflake. Yes, there has been some, but storage still remains at roughly 11% of our revenue. And we are seeing workloads that otherwise wouldn't have been accessible to Snowflake. So I think that's good. And, our guide is based upon the strength of what we're seeing with customer commitments. And as I said before, we've done a really good job this year. There's still room for improvement always. And there'll always be room for improvement. But I think we're getting much better at working with customers to identify new workloads that will go into production that gives us that confidence.
I'll just add on to what Mike said, which is, I've said this before, the iceberg story is one that Snowflake can write. We've made all the right investments in the format, how broadly it is getting adopted. And yes, while there will be some customers who might want to move data that is in Snowflake over to iceberg, there is vastly more opportunity for us to take Snowflake to where the data is. And that's what I mean when I say this is our history to write, and that's what we are in the process of doing. We've had success with a number of data engineering use cases. We think that there are a lot of data analytics use cases to also go after, and that's the exciting opportunity that has opened up for us.
And I'll add that I think on iceberg, we've shifted from theoretical to actual consumption, actual revenue coming already materializing to us.
Congrats to you guys. Thanks again.
Thank you for your question. Next question is from the line of Mark Murphy with JP Morgan. Your line is now open.
Great. Thank you for taking the question. This is Sona Kolar on for Mark Murphy, and I echo the congrats. Sridhar, curious to get your take on a couple of the major recent industry developments, one being DeepSeek models and the other being the large-scale data center build-outs with Stargate of 100 to 500 billion, and now Meta announcing the 200 billion project. How would you think through the direct and kind of indirect opportunities for Snowflake with that much data in motion? For instance, DeepSeek usage in Cortex, or some of the broader data management or data integration needs as your customers start to tap into those services. Thank you.
This is a pretty dynamic space, which seems to change pretty dramatically every 3 months. In as much as DeepSeek is interesting, I think the work that xAI is doing and Grok 3 and what it is capable of is equally interesting. I think we are definitely headed to a world in which there are now several players, it's not two any longer, that are leading the charge when it comes to the world's innovations with AI. And the fact that it is a healthy combination of open source models as well as proprietary models, we think is a good thing. As I said, our value comes from our customers being able to bring all of their data together into one place and derive more and more value with it. What our partnerships with the leading model makers of the world indicates is an implicit acknowledgement that we have a big role to play in this world of AI. And so what we are doing is building the best products that can take advantage of the data gravity that we have and access to the biggest, best models that there are on the planet. Absolutely, I think there is a belief on the part of many, especially the ones that can afford it, that there are more breakthroughs to be had by investing hundreds of billions of dollars. I mean, sadly or not, that's not us. But I feel very happy about our ability to work with these folks and create value for our customers.
Thank you, Sridhar, and congrats on a very productive first year.
Thank you.
Thank you for your question. Next question is from the line of Kash Rangan with Goldman Sachs. Your line is now open.
Hey, thanks for taking my question. This is Matt Martino on for Kash Rangan. Sridhar, one for you. I know Snowflake is recently coming off their sales kickoff, so it would just be great to get some of your takeaways from the event and kind of what the key message was to the salesforce, whether it's around prosecuting new use cases or pushing some of the newer products Snowflake is bringing to market. Thank you.
As you folks know, sales kickoff is about unifying around a common message, a common theme, a sense of purpose. I think I found the enthusiasm among the folks to be infectious. I think it was very good. I can't obviously attend like all of the meetings; they're all in parallel. But I've looked at some of the material. I think the level of sophistication that our leaders are bringing to how they take care of business, where they point out what do exemplary SEs do, and how do we hold them as a role model for others, and how we thoughtfully add on new products. As I said, we are at a place where it's pretty unreasonable for anyone to expect that they're not going to know everything that Snowflake does. So we've introduced things like colleges. These are essentially constructs within Snowflake for specialization in different areas, so that somebody that wants to become an expert in machine learning within a particular pod can sign up, become that expert, and serve as a point of contact for that particular pod. So what I would say I saw was this sort of sophistication and confidence in being able to take our product to market. And of course, there's a lot of how do we do right by the customer, what creates value for them, how do we work with them. That was also front and center. But these folks were also there. Anything else to add, Mike, Christian?
A lot of excitement for our product lineup on what's coming. We'll share more at Summit.
Yep.
Thanks a lot. Appreciate your thoughts.
Thank you for your question. Final question is from the line of Joel Fishbein with Truist Securities. Your line is now open.
Thanks for taking the question. I guess it's a two-part, one for Sridhar and one for Mike, but same topic. You had an expansion with your partnership with Microsoft and relates through OpenAI. I would love to just get a little more granular about what that means for you guys for Snowflake. And Mike, if you can potentially quantify what that could mean from a revenue standpoint, in the future. Thanks.
I'll start, and Christian, should add. We have a broad and deep partnership with Microsoft at the level of data, but also at the level of products, where things that we create come out in Microsoft Copilot, come out in Teams, and so I'm very happy with that partnership. We are increasingly going to market together in a number of situations, and so I think that is all hugely positive. What the specifics of this partnership means is that OpenAI's models are effectively accessible within Snowflake security perimeter. And that's a highly technical definition. It is basically the guarantee that we make to our customers that their data is fully under our control is a big deal for our customers. I think what this means in practice is that every product that we make, starting with simply having the model available in a model garden that we have. I use Anthropic all the time in one of our internal instances. That ability to have access to these world-class models to then build different kinds of chatbots, different kinds of agentic applications. And so what this enables is for us and our customers is to be able to build world-class applications without having to have data go anywhere else, without special licenses that are needed. It just means that like OpenAI models are available out of the box, just like Anthropic models are available on AWS out of the box. So I think this is a pretty big deal for a lot of our customers. Color on the overall partnership, you're good? Okay.
We're leveraging for our own products on top. So Cortex Analyst,
That's right.
is leveraging this model. So it's good for our customers to use directly, but also for ourselves.
Yeah, and I'll just say, Joel, from what is that impact going to be on our business? Obviously, we wouldn't do it if we didn't think it could be impactful to our business, but it's too early to say. And I would say that would be upside in our revenue once we see traction with that. But it's going to take some time before we get this rolled out to customers.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for your question. There are no additional questions waiting at this time, so I'll pass the call back to Sridhar for any closing remarks.
Thank you. In closing, I think Snowflake stands to benefit enormously from the data and AI revolution that is sweeping the enterprise market. Our philosophy of an easy-to-use, fast-to-value, efficient product makes us uniquely differentiated and much loved by our customers. 30% product revenue growth in fiscal 25, combined with our strong initial outlook for fiscal 26, I think demonstrates our ability to execute at scale. And so we are going to continue our strategy of driving high growth and efficiency. Our ability to release products and take them to market quickly is what enables high growth, simultaneously generating more than $1 billion of adjusted free cash flow, expanding operating margin, and increasing SBC efficiency further demonstrates the strength of the business. And I think the long-term profile of Snowflake is one that showcases durable growth and continued margin expansion, which I think is very unique. And this is really exciting, and I look forward to sharing more and more of our progress with all of you along the way. Thank you all for joining us.
That concludes the conference call. Thank you for your participation. You may now disconnect your line.
Okay, nice. Okay. Yeah, so good on Snowflake. Getting a network error, which is great. Okay. I think that should be better. But yeah, so it seems like continued product innovations. It seems like having this network error. So Snowflake Data Cloud and then Cortex AI seems like it's a very interesting business line or product line on Snowflake. I don't fully understand how this works, so you need to do more research on this, but I'd imagine that this has to do something with managing AI agents, maybe allowing them to access different types of data within Snowflake. If you think about Snowflake, I think their core product is this data warehouse separating storage and compute. So you can store, scale up a bunch of different data sets, and then if you need compute, so compute can just be running a SQL query together. Let's say all of the different types of addresses that end with a drive, like Summerwalk Drive or Piper Sandler Drive, something like that. Yeah, and it seems like Apache Iceberg was an open table format that maybe could have been a type of risk for Snowflake, but it does seem like they've actually been able to capitalize on it and take a lot of the Iceberg data tables and then actually flow that into Snowflake, which is interesting. Okay, so that is at the high level. I do think it'll be nice to listen in Salesforce's earnings call. Okay, so let's do that. Webcast, okay. All right, let's go.
Good day, everyone. Welcome to Salesforce fourth quarter and full year fiscal 2025 results conference call. If you have a question today, please press *1 on your telephone keypad. Also, this call is being recorded. I would now like to hand the conference over to your speaker, Mike Spencer, Executive Vice President of Finance and Strategy and Investor Relations. Sir, you may begin.
Good afternoon, and thanks for joining us today on our fiscal 2025 fourth quarter results conference call. Our press release, SEC filings, and a replay of today's call can be found on our website. Joining me on the call today is Mark Benioff, Chair and CEO, Amy Weaver, President and Chief Financial Officer, Brian Millham, President and Chief Operating Officer. In addition, we also have Robin Washington, our board member and incoming Chief Operating and Finance Officer, here with us today. As a reminder, our commentary today will include non-GAAP measures. Reconciliations between our GAAP and non-GAAP results and guidance can be found in our earnings materials and press release. Some of our comments today may contain forward-looking statements that are subject to risks, uncertainties, and assumptions which could change. Should any of these risks materialize or should our assumptions prove to be incorrect, actual company results could differ materially from these forward-looking statements. A description of these risks, uncertainties, and assumptions and other factors that could affect our financial results is included in our SEC filings, including our most recent report in Forms 10-K, 10-Q, and any other SEC filings. Except as required by law, we do not undertake any responsibility to update these forward-looking statements. And with that, let me hand the call to Mark.
Well, hey, thanks so much, Mike. And, I'm so excited about this call and reading this script with you because this was just the best quarter we've ever had. And I think you're going to see that as we kind of unfold what's happening here. And I'm sitting here with Amy and Brian and Mike and Sebastian is also on the table, and our new COFO, Robin Washington is here. So welcome, Robin. We're thrilled to have you here as well. And look, I'm really excited about this. I really think that we have something incredible to talk about, and obviously this was the quarter of Agentforce. We're going to talk about that, but it was really just another incredible quarter. And really, it's been another incredible year of growth and innovation. I'm sure you all can see we've had a really strong performance across all of our key metrics on revenue, on margin, EPS, cash flow, CRPO. we've passed some amazing milestones, including more than $60 billion in RPO. And this has been the highest cash flow in our company history. You can see we exceeded our cash flow guidance. I think Amy did about 12.9 billion last quarter, but I think we delivered 13.1-ish. And that was just incredible for the quarter. And then we're giving guidance. I think it's around 14.5 billion in guidance for next year on the cash flow guidance. So just awesome cash production. Few enterprise software companies have really ever delivered these kind of numbers, and I guess only a couple have ever delivered guidance in the 40 billions, which is where we are. And our two newest major products are Data Cloud and Agentforce. Our AI product line now we can see is a multi-billion-dollar product line. So we're excited to be, in that kind of rarefied air of delivering a multi-billion-dollar AI product line. We ended this year with 900 million in Data Cloud and AI ARR. It grew 120% year over year. We've never seen products grow at these levels, especially Agentforce. And Data Cloud and AI Agentforce, this is now going to be incredible coming into fiscal year 26. As we begin this year, and since our founding, I couldn't be more excited about what's ahead. This is a moment like we've just never seen before, and in just a few months, we've seen this addressable market go from hundreds of billions of dollars, and I'm sure you saw those ARC slides that got released over the weekend, where she said that she thought this digital labor revolution, which is really kind of what we're in here now, this digital labor revolution, this looks like it's anywhere from a few trillion to 12 trillion. I mean, I kind of agree with her. I think this is much, much bigger than software. I mean, for the last 25 years, we've been doing, software to help our customers manage their data. That's very exciting. I think building software that kind of prints and deploys digital workers is more exciting, and you're going to hear some of these incredible stories in a second. Our formula now, really, for our customers is this idea that we have these incredible customer 360 apps. We have this incredible data cloud, this this incredible agentic platform. These are the three layers, but it's that it is a deeply unified platform. It's a deeply unified platform. It's just one piece of code. That's what makes it so unique in this market, and that is why customers are having so great success with it. It's not a collection of disjointed parts. You have to kind of self-assemble, DIY it, all kinds of, how do you get the security running? How do you do this? How do you do that? It's this idea that it's a deeply unified platform with one piece of code all wrapped in a beautiful layer of trust. And that's what gives Agentforce this incredible accuracy that we're seeing. I'm going to talk about even what we've seen at Salesforce with that is amazing. And I'll tell you that our customers are just seeing some great success with it. And that's why just 90 days after it went live, we've already have 3,000 paying Agentforce customers who are experiencing unprecedented levels of productivity, efficiency, and cost savings. No one else is delivering at this level of capability. And we're really seeing a level of integration, simplicity, intelligence, power. I mean, customers are really telling us that we're light years ahead of other providers, and their feedback really speaks volumes. So exciting to go on the web and see Agentforce delivering labor for companies like Equinox, OpenTable, Jacuzzi, and others. I mean, I go to their sites, I'm going to their, to their X feeds, their, social media presence, and you see Agentforce running. And look, a lot of other vendors are talking about their agent capabilities, but few are able to show that they've got this really running at scale. And as you're about to hear from Brian, we're seeing some amazing results on Salesforce's Customer Zero for Agentforce. Our digital labor force is resolving tens of thousands of customer service inquiries, freeing our human employees to focus on the most nuanced issues in customer relationships.
Okay, interesting.
We're seeing tremendous momentum and success stories emerge as we execute our vision to make every company, every single company, every customer of ours an Agentforce company. That is, we want every customer to be an Agentforce customer. We want every Trailblazer to be an Agentblazer. And I want to share some of these amazing stories with you today. But first, let's hit a couple of these incredible numbers. We closed out fiscal year 25 with $10 billion in revenue. That's amazing. Our first $10 billion quarter. I remember we had our first $10 billion year. Kind of amazing. $10 billion quarter, up 8% year over year, 9% constant currency. And I think we even lost, Amy, is that right, like a couple $100 million in foreign exchange for the year as well. In Q4, we closed more than 400 deals over $1 million. All of our top 10 wins included data and AI. Brian, 400 deals over $1 million, pretty awesome. And we also continued phenomenal growth with Data Cloud this year, which is the heart Agentforce. Data Cloud is the fuel that powers Agentforce, and our customers are investing in it. And Data Cloud surpassed 50 trillion, that's trillion with a T, records, doubling year over year as customers increase their consumption investment in our data platform. And that is just becoming a critical and essential part of our solution, because as customers turn on AI and Agentforce, if they don't have the data, we've been talking about this, I guess, for almost 2 years. If you don't have the data, you're not going to get the AI that you so badly want. And nearly a quarter of those 50 trillion records, that was trillion with a T, were ingested from outside of Salesforce through our zero copy partner network, which is amazing. We'll see increased investments in software to build an agentic layer as AI continues to advance and handle a higher percentage of workloads. And we're taking advantage of the huge investments that these infrastructure companies, we work with, of course, we have, 2 substrates, live, where we have Amazon and we have Alibaba. Both companies are making huge investments in infrastructure. And the third one, Google, is making a huge infrastructure investment. We're really getting great prices, from these companies. Our deployment, our ability to deploy at a really low cost is just awesome. And it's just driving down our cost for our customers. So that's so exciting. Look, for the full year, we delivered $37.9 billion in revenue. It's up 9% year over year. Operating cash flow reaching $13.1 billion, up 28% year over year. It's really one of the best performances, I think, of any software company. And with our continued disciplined approach to margin expansion, our non-GAAP operating margin closed at 33%. That was 250 basis points for fiscal year 25. I think it's 50 basis points higher than we even gave you guidance for a year ago. Is that right, Amy? Yep. And that's awesome. But we also passed an incredible milestone of more than 60 billion in RPO. That I don't think we could have expected. So this milestone isn't just a number. It's a clear signal that our customers are trusting us, deploying us, getting great value from us, and continuing to invest in our vision for digital labor. I mean, I think it's going to be that digital labor vision, that revelation that we're able to provide digital labor at scale with this trinity of apps, data, and agents that is going to drive this fiscal year 26 success. We expect to deliver fiscal year 26 subscription and support revenue of 9% year over year in constant currency. We remain deeply committed to profitable growth and expect fiscal year 26 non-GAAP operating margin of 34%. We're going to deliver another 100 basis points of expansion following 2 years where we expanded more than 1,000 basis points. The pace of change, the focus on productivity, profitability, the speed of innovation, the trinity of apps, data, and agents, it's all coming together. As I mentioned, we're seeing customers deploy Agentforce across every industry. Let's talk about a couple of examples. We've been working with Lennar, the nation's largest home builder. And most of you know Lennar is really an incredible company, and they've been a customer of ours for about 8 years. They came to Dreamforce. And when they came to Dreamforce, they obviously got their hands, like many of you did, on Agentforce, got super excited, went back to Miami, talked to their co-CEOs. You probably know Stuart Miller, John Jaffe, amazing CEOs. And those co-CEOs called me and said, listen, these guys have done a hackathon around Agentforce. We've got 5 use cases. We see incredible opportunities on our margin, incredible opportunities on our revenue. And do you have our back if we're going to deploy this? And we said, absolutely. We've deployed it ourselves which is the best evidence that this is real. And they are just incredible. Their vision as a home builder, providing 24/7 support, sales leads through all their digital channels. They're able to sell all kinds of new products. I think they're going to sell mortgages and insurance and all kinds of things to their customers. And, you know, the cool thing is they're already using our sales product, our service product, marketing, MuleSoft, Slack, Tableau. They use everything. But they are able to leverage it all together by realizing that just by turning it on, they get this incredible agent force capability. All right, I want to tell you another story, not just about Lennar and transforming a home builder, but I don't know how many of you know about Pandora. You've been to a shopping center, you see the Pandora store, you walk in, they have this gorgeous jewelry, they have these cool charm bracelets, they have amazing products. And if you know their CEO, Alex, he's absolutely phenomenal. I think he's based over in Amsterdam or he's in the Netherlands. I can't remember where it is, but one of the Northern European countries. Incredible CEO. Time actually just gave them an award as one of the most sustainable companies in the world. Great company. You know, they're in 100 countries. They employ 37,000 people worldwide. And Alex has this great vision to augment their employees with digital labor. And this idea that whether you're on their website or in their store or whatever it is, that they're going to be able to do so much more with Agent Force. They already use, first of all, they already use Commerce Cloud. So if you've been to Pandora.com and bought their products, and you know, if you haven't, by the way, it's completely worthwhile. It's great. And you can experience our Commerce Cloud, but it's deeply integrated with our Service Cloud, with Data Cloud. It's the one unified platform approach. And now they're just flipping the switch, turning agents on, and they're planning to deliver 30 to 60% of their service cases with Agent Force. That is awesome, and I really love Alex's vision of what's possible. And then the last customer I really want to hit on, which I'm so excited about, is Pfizer. And, you know, Albert is an incredible CEO. They're doing unbelievable things. They've been a tremendous customer, but now they're really going all in on our life sciences cloud. We're seeing so many, you know, I was in the Business Council last week in Washington, D.C., met with hundreds of CEOs, and so many of the CEOs of the life sciences industry are going with our life sciences cloud. It was incredible. And you can see why, because it's just a natural upgrade of what they're already doing with us. And then this idea that our life sciences cloud becomes this highly differentiated capability from everything currently available in the market, and then allows these pharma, med tech companies, so many, to be able to streamline not just their clinical operations, all their customer facing, even the ones who want to go to direct to consumer, even the ones who want to do clinical trials. And this idea that agents are going to make all of that so much better. And with Agent Force, sales agents, for example, with Pfizer, you know, they've got 20,000 customer facing employees and customer facing folks. You know, that is just a radical extension for them with agents. And I'll have to slot in one last one, because I'll tell you, I'm sure a lot of you, like I have, flown in Singapore Air. You know what is a great airline. The CEO Go is amazing. And he has a huge vision that also came out of Dreamforce, where they've already delivered probably the best service of any airline in the world. They want to deliver it through agents. So whether you're doing it with service or sales or marketing or commerce or all the different things that Singapore Air is doing with us, you're going to be able to do this right on Singapore Air. All right, well, I know all of you want to see this in person, talk to these customers yourself. You know, you can go to help.salesforce.com. Brian's going to talk about that. When you hear the numbers we delivered in the quarter there, you're not going to believe it. And listen, a lot of people say to me, hey, how are you different from these other agent companies? Number one, go to those other vendors. Go to their sites. Are they running their agent technology? You've all been on help.salesforce.com. You all know this incredible capability that we're delivering. You've seen it deployed by these other customers like Equinox and Remarkable and others. You've got your hands on. Do you see the other scaled vendors delivering this capability, or are they just using the word agent? I think you got to beware of the false agent, because the false agent is out there where people can use the word agent, or they kind of, you know, they're trying to whitewash all the thing everywhere, but the reality is there is the real agents and there are the false agents, and we're very fortunate to have the real stuff going on here. So we've got a lot more groundbreaking AI innovation coming. I can't wait for you to see it at our Trailhead DX event next week, and that's going to be March 5th and 6th in San Francisco. I'm looking forward to seeing all of you there and showing you that. And I'll tell you, while you're there, and I didn't hit it, you've got to see this new product we've just built, which is Tableau Next. I'm sure a lot of you know Tableau. You probably use it every day. When you see what we have built, which is the new Tableau built with Agentforce on the data cloud, and how it's deeply integrated into our product line, it is going to blow your mind. It is incredible. You've got to make sure you get a demo of Tableau Next. You won't believe it. You're going to see the new Slack. You're going to see the new Sales Cloud, Service Cloud, Marketing Cloud, Commerce Cloud, the platform, Agentforce, all the products. This new field service product, which is incredible. You might get a glimpse of the new ITSM product that's coming if you look hard. But the big thing that I'm excited about, okay, the big thing that I'm really excited about is Tableau Next, because that's about to deploy to customers at scale, and I think people are going to be absolutely blown away. All right, now, before I do that, I have to get out the Kleenex, because I have to say goodbye to Brian and Amy, who, you know, it's kind of a moment in time here where Brian has been here for, I think, 25 years, 26 years. He's just wearing one of the many watches that I've given him to recognize his performance. Amy is here as well. She's not wearing one of her watches, but she has them at home, probably in her jewelry case or safe or something. And, you know, Amy's, how long has it been, Amy? 12 years? 11 years with Amy. And, you know, we're going through a little bit of a transition of our management team between fiscal year 25 and 26. And we want to say goodbye and thank you. We want to say mahalo, and we want to say goodbye, which is a hui ho. And thank you so much for everything. And we're going to let them talk and also say their goodbyes. But we're so grateful to everything that you've done for us every single day over the last 25 and 11 years. And it's been great to have you part of our management team. And you're welcome back anytime. So if you get lonely out there on the golf course, or I know Amy's got some big plans that she's not ready to announce yet in the NGO world, but I'll tell you that, you know, if you guys get lonely or you're missing the thrill of the hunt, come back and see us, because we're going to be ready for you to come back. Okay. All right, Brian.
I really appreciate it. It's been a privilege of a lifetime to work here for more than 25 years. Very few people get to start at a company that has zero revenue and help it grow to 38 billion. The journey's been remarkable, and this year was certainly the capstone. As you heard from Mark, in just one quarter, Agentforce has been deployed by thousands of brands worldwide, becoming an incredible lever for productivity, growth, and efficiency. It's happened faster than we ever expected. With our deeply unified platform, seamlessly integrating our Customer 360 apps, Data Cloud, and Agentforce, we're leading the digital labor revolution. Customers of every size across every industry are seeing immediate and substantial value with Agentforce. We're setting new standards in the industry. OpenTable is a great example of how Agentforce is having an immediate impact. In just 3 weeks, it's handling 73% of all restaurant web queries, a 50% improvement over their previous tool. And they're not alone. The Futurum Group surveyed customers and found that Agentforce can achieve ROI 5 times faster than DIY while lowering costs by 20%. And technology analyst Vern Valor found Agentforce delivers autonomous AI agents 16 times faster versus DIY approaches with 75% increased accuracy. We continue to see significant increase in large multi-cloud transactions as companies look to accelerate faster time to value.
I do want to just skip to the
Goodyear is partnering with us on their transformation using Agentforce to automate and increase the effectiveness of their sales efforts. With Agentforce for field service, Goodyear will be able to reduce repair time by assisting technicians with answers.
Operating cash flow growth of approximately 10 to 11%.
Bumps in the road that we should be aware of.
With our strong finish to the year and the foundation we have set in place for continued success. And I want to thank our employees for their dedication and execution throughout the year. I also want to extend my gratitude to our shareholder and investment community for your continued support. It has really been a privilege working with all of you. Now, Mike, do you want to open up the call for questions?
Thanks. Operator, we're ready to take questions now. As a reminder, we ask everyone to limit to one question, and we'll take the first question now.
Thank you, sir. And the first question today comes from Keith Weiss, Morgan Stanley.
Excellent. Thank you guys for taking the question, and congratulations on a really strong end to FY25. I wanted to dig into the Agentforce opportunities. Some really big numbers there in terms of the number of deals signed, and real good revenue momentum there. Investors are asking me a lot and have a lot of questions on how the pricing model shifts.
Hey, Keith?
Yes.
Keith, sorry,
Can you hear me?
the first part of your question cut. Yeah, I can hear you now. The first part of your question cut out, so could you start over, please?
Sure thing. So congratulations on the very strong quarter. A lot of focus on Agentforce and a lot of big numbers there. Investors are asking me a lot of questions about the changing pricing model dynamics, going from a seat-based model to one that includes consumptive elements, and how that nets out. So I was hoping you could give us some color in terms of what you guys are seeing thus far when you're doing these Agentforce contracts. Is it expanding the overall contract size? What kind of expansions are you seeing, if you are seeing expansions? And does the math net to be a good positive for Salesforce as we move to a more consumptive model? Or are there any bumps in the road that we should be aware of?
Okay, well, I'd love to address that directly, and then I'm going to ask Brian to come in with some specifics and examples, because I think it's so exciting. I think, of course, we've kind of started the company out with the per-user pricing model, and, that's about humans. We price per human, so you kind of pricing per human, and then we have products, though, that are also in the consumption world as well, and, of course, those started in the early days, things like our sandboxes, even things like our Commerce Cloud, even our email marketing product, our Marketing Cloud. These are consumption-based products we've had for years. And it's always been a mix of, products that we have for humans and then products that we have for computers. Now we have, these kind of products that are for agents also, and agents are also a consumption model. So when we look at our Data Cloud, for example, that's a consumption product. Agentforce is a consumption product, but it's going to be a mix. It's going to be a mix between what's going on with our customers, with how many humans do they have, and then how many agents are they deploying. I think in one example that I can personally tell you about in the quarter, we did a large transaction with a large telecommunications company. It's incredible, and when I was talking to their CEO, she was asking me, how are we going to price the transaction and so forth, and I can't remember the exact number of the deal. I think it was Brian, maybe it was about $20 million in ACV, something like that for the year. Maybe it was $60 million TCV transaction. And then as part of that transaction, it's a mix of, we're rebuilding this telecommunications company. So it's Sales Cloud, it's Service Cloud, it's Marketing Cloud. It's all of our core clouds. But then also it's Agentforce. And the Agentforce component, I think, was maybe $7 million in the transaction. So she was buying $7 million of Agentforce. She bought $13 million in our products for humans, and I think that was about $20 million in total. These are about approximate numbers. I think that's kind of the idea, that you're going to see us be able to deliver, the right package for the right customer. Even if you look at Salesforce, as I mentioned, here we are, working in this world, and kind of Brian has hit on it. We did, 360,000 transactions in the quarter with Agentforce, on help.salesforce.com, 380. And then what do you have? About, several thousand, customer support reps. And so we have our Service Cloud running, we have Agentforce running, we have our different products running. Then of course, our Service Cloud is deeply integrated with our Sales Cloud and other products. So it's going to be a mix. And I think that the mix is the most exciting thing. I don't know any company that's 100% agents. I don't know of any company that doesn't need automation for its humans. I don't know any company that doesn't need a data cloud where it needs a consistent, common data repository for all of its agents to gain their intelligence. And I don't know any company that's not going to need an agentic layer. And that idea of having apps data and agents, I think, is going to be the winning combination. You want to actually give the real details,
No,
Brian?
that's exactly right. This Trinity, as you called it, Mark, CRM plus data plus agents is really what our customers are coming to us for. Keith, our objective is how do we serve the customers and focus on customer success? How do we give them what they need to go drive their business forward, both from a productivity and from an efficiency perspective? The pricing models will change over time. There's no doubt about it. The nice thing that we've seen with our customers is they really understand the ROI associated with digital labor. What we're able to provide with agents is really driving the velocity of transactions that we've seen. Mark mentioned the 3,000 transactions that we closed in the fourth quarter, really driven on our ROI model that people understand that they can get a tremendous amount of benefit from agents. We will probably move into the near future from conversations as we price most of our initial deals to universal credits. Will allow our customers far more flexibility in the way they transact with us. But we see this as significant upside to our pricing structures going forward. And that's what we've seen in the early days with our engagement with customers.
Address, like, here's a transaction that you're doing. Let's say a customer comes in, they're very interested in building an agentic layer on their company. You know, is that bringing other human-based clouds along with it?
No doubt. And I think what we've seen is that we have incremental strength in our core technology, the CRM core technology. You saw in the quarter we had some good performance, both sales and service cloud, both above 10% growth in the quarter. And so we are seeing people leverage our core technology, the named pricing models with our core apps, and agents together to go drive the efficiencies that they're looking for.
Yeah, I think you're going to really play it out. I mean, you do come to Trailhead DX and you do see that new Tableau next. I think what you're going to see is a Tableau that was only built for humans before, but now is deeply integrated into Data Cloud and has a deep agentic layer as well. So you're going to be able to come to your own conclusions, get your hands on these products, talk to the customers. We're in an exciting moment.
Thanks, Keith. Operator, we'll take the next question, please.
Thank you, sir. And our next question comes from Kirk Materne, Evercore ISI.
Yes, thanks very much for taking the question. Brian and Mark, I was wondering if you just talk about, you referred to it a little bit, but as Agentforce builds, obviously not every company is going to be ready to potentially go agentic today. But is Agentforce having a bit of a halo effect around some of your other products? Meaning, as we are on the journey to get more monetization from Agentforce, are you seeing pickups or at least higher activity levels in some of your other products that, to Brian, your point, sort of form this trinity? Thanks.
Sure, that's exactly right. And we're seeing it in the way that our customers are using our technology, new ideas, new workflows, new engagements. We talked about Lennar as an example, their ability to handle leads after hours that they weren't able to get back to or respond to in a quick time frame, are now able to touch and engage with those leads. And then that, of course, flows into their Salesforce automation system. And so we are seeing this halo effect with our core technology. It is making every single one of our core apps better as they deliver intelligence underpinning these applications. And so it is the message that we're delivering, this trinity of apps, data, and agents that is really compelling to our customers.
Thanks, Kirk.
Thank you.
Operator, we'll take the next question, please.
The next question is Raimo Lenschow, Barclays.
Hey, perfect. Congrats from me as well. And Mark, with Amy and Brian, you lose some very experienced people on the team. What was the thinking in terms of combining those two roles, and how do you see that playing out going forward? Thank you.
Well, I'm so excited, to have Robin come in as our new COFO, and I really think it's exciting because Robin really has this kind of unique capability to deliver the Chief Operating Officer position and Chief Financial Officer position. And I'll tell you, as we did the search, one of the really top candidates that we saw come through held this position in another company. And I think as Robin and I were talking about that, that the leverage of having a COFO, this idea that the financial officer and the chief operating officer really come together as this incredible, partnership to deliver, this capability, just was a perfect match for us. I was thinking about going with it with this outside candidate, and that's where I was fortunate to be able to convince Robin to take the job. And Robin, would you like to just say something and just kind of come in here and just tell us about how excited you are to be part of the management team?
Sure, Mark. As you've heard Brian, Amy, and Mark talk about, it is an exciting opportunity for us right now with Agent Force. So I am elated to be able to join forces with the operating team. It's an exciting time in our industry as well. And as you've heard us talk about the Trinity and our deeply unified platform, I think we clearly are able to have something that's going to support our customers' growth and productivity in this new era, I should say, with the result of sustainable and profitable revenue growth for Salesforce long term.
Yeah, and I just want to I should also really thank Miguel Milano, as you probably know, came back as our Chief Revenue Officer about a year ago, and he decided to rejoin us after some cajoling, and I've asked him to work directly for me, running our worldwide sales organization, and so I've been so thrilled about that. And I also have to thank Srini, who's our Chief Engineering Officer, is now our Chief Engineering and Services Officer, who's taken on customer service and support. And it's been a rebalancing of our management team. So we have this amazing new executive with Robin. I couldn't be more excited to have her by my side. And just as a little side note, Robin will tell you I've been trying to convince her to join the company for over a decade. And so I finally got her, and after a lot of selling. So we're thrilled to have Robin with us and joining us, direct operating executive from the board. And then having Miguel is so exciting. Of course, having Parker with me as well is so critical. And also, as I mentioned, Srini is running services and engineering, and Steve Fisher being promoted recently to our Chief Product Officer, or actually our Chief Technology Officer, running products, and our Chief Product Officer, David Schmeier, also with expanded responsibilities, working directly for me. David is now our Chief Product and Impact Officer. And I couldn't be more thrilled. I also have a great Chief of Staff, Kendall, and a whole team around me with so many incredible functions and capabilities. And of course, smiling and waving at me across the table is Sebastian Niles, my Chief Legal Officer, who has done an unbelievable job since joining the company. So I don't think I've ever had a better management team. I mean, it's hard to beat Amy and Brian, but I think maybe we did it. We're really thrilled. So sorry, Amy and Brian, to see you go. Hui ho. But welcome to the new management team, and we're so thrilled to have them with us, and we're so excited to start fiscal year 26 with an absolute bang. And Robin, did you want to end with any parting comments?
No.
All right. Very good. She's ready for the next question.
Thanks, Raimo. Let's go to the next question, please, operator.
Up next is Brent Thill, Jefferies.
Thanks, Mark. Just on DOGE and the impact of what the federal states spent. I'm curious if you could discuss your role and what you think this means for Salesforce.
Well, I don't have any role. I think I'm, of course I'm coming at this with a beginner's mind, like I'm sure all of us are, that, we want to see what they are able to deliver with the new administration. We're, huge fans of the United States of America. We want us to be a successful country as we possibly can be, and that also includes having something that I think is critical, important for us, which is a balanced budget. Something I've, encouraged every president that I've worked with for, quite a few administrations to achieve. We're thrilled with our relationship with the government. You know that we have so many agencies that depend on us, from providing support for veterans through our Veterans Administration and so many other groups. And I think even DOGE is using Slack to manage their communication and coordination.
Yeah,
so, we'll work closely with the government. We'll do anything we can to help them succeed. And we wish them only the best. And we're here to help at every step of the way. And we want the U.S. to be, as successful as it possibly can.
Thanks, Brent. Operator, we'll go to the next question, please.
Next up from JP Morgan, it's Mark Murphy.
Thank you so much. Mark, you had mentioned this labor arbitrage and that jobs are going to evolve. When you think through the scale of that kind of an opportunity, how much labor do you think you can augment or replace? For instance, could a company with 1,000 employees slow its hiring or stop hiring and, just layer in a couple hundred agent force spots and maybe accelerate its growth? And then, further to Brent's point, can we apply that concept to federal government agencies? If they have 3 million workers and some of them are going to leave voluntarily, could they layer in, hundreds of thousands of these agent force bots and see some greater efficiency?
Well, I think that, I could wave you away and say I don't really know yet, but I will tell you that since I'm the CEO of a 75,000 person company, or how many employees do we have now? 75, 76,000. So, let's just look at us, so we have 9,000 support agents. We really are seeing tremendous efficiency with help.salesforce.com. So we may see the opportunity to rebalance some of those folks into sales and marketing and other functions. We're really excited about that. I would say that we're definitely have seen a lot of efficiency with engineering and with some of the new tools that I've seen, especially some of these high-performance coding tools. One of the key members of my staff who's here in the room with us just showed me one of his new, examples of what we're able to do with these coding tools. Pretty awesome. And we're not going to hire any new engineers this year. We're seeing 30% productivity increase on engineering, and we're going to really continue to ride that up. And we're going to grow sales pretty dramatically this year. Brian has got a big vision for how to grow the sales organization, probably another 10 to 20%, I hope, this year, because we're seeing incredible levels of demand. I think every company who is our customer or prospect wants us to come in and start talking about what we're going to do with them and how we're going to transform them. Everybody sees the opportunity. I think that, the big message I have for a lot of CEOs that I meet with is, hey, we're the last generation of CEOs to only manage humans. I think every CEO going forward is going to manage, humans and agents together. I know that's what I'm doing. So this is what I have to think about every single day as a CEO. And I think everyone is going to have to start to think about that. It's definitely starting because, as I mentioned, I was with a large CEO group last week, and it was a topic of conversation in every single person that I met with. And with whether it's those life sciences CEOs that we mentioned, or financial services CEOs, or manufacturing CEOs, in every example, they can see how agents are going to be able to augment their workforce. And I think you can see it also in the global economy, that I think productivity is going to rise without additions to more human labor, which is good because human labor is not increasing in the global workforce. So you have a stagnant human workforce worldwide. So if you want productivity to go up and you want GDP to grow up and you want growth, I think that digital labor is going to be one of the catalysts to make that happen. And I was talking with a significant economist and economic leader last week, and I think that, I think everyone's on the same page that we could see something really dramatic. And this is our main focus as a company. We aren't, building huge, 10, 20, 30, $100 billion data centers. We're not, doing some of these kind of engineering efforts that may or may not have some kind of huge payoff, but is going to take down all of our cash and all of our margin for the next several years. We're like augmenting our existing product line with artificial intelligence, taking advantage of these incredible investments that are being made, in infrastructure by others, and we're going to deliver the digital labor revolution. This is our goal. Our goal is to be the number one provider of digital labor in the world. That's it. Okay. I don't think there really is another goal, because you can say we're the number one AI CRM, which we already are, but when you're the number one AI CRM, you're also going to lead the digital labor revolution, and that is going to be the focus of fiscal year 26. As I said, this is the year of digital labor, and it is going to be the year where every trailblazer is going to become an agent blazer.
Great, thanks. Operator, we'll take our last question now, please.
And that question comes from Kash Rangan, Goldman Sachs.
Hey, thank you very much. We'll miss you, Brian and Amy. Congratulations, Robin. One for you, Mark. There's a lot of talk about how we're moving from model building and training to the inference layer. And also, as part of that shift to agentic technology, there's been a lot of a debate about the SaaS technology and the business model. Can the SaaS tech stack that you built and pioneered, how does that fit into the agentic world? Is there a risk that SaaS just becomes a CRUD database? It sounds really terrible, but I'm sure you have an opinion. I'd love to hear it. Thank you.
Okay, well, Cash, I really appreciate that. And, look, I've heard that Microsoft narrative too. So, I watched the podcast you watched, and that's a very interesting idea. And, here's how I look at it, which is I believe there is kind of a holy trinity here of AI CRM, which is the apps, the data, and the agents. And these three things have to kind of work together. And I kind of put my money where our mouth is, where we kind of built it and we delivered it. And you can see the 380,000, conversations that we had as point of evidence here in the last 90 days on our service, and with a very high resolution rate of 84%.
It's like the fifth time you mentioned.
You can go to help.salesforce.com and you can see that today. Now, Microsoft has had Copilot available for, I think, about 2 years or more than 2 years. And I know that they're the reseller of OpenAI, and they've they're kind of repackaged this, ChatGPT, whatever. But where on their side are they delivering agents? Where in their company have they done this? Where are they a best practice? Because I think that while they can say such a thing, do they have humans and agents working together to create customer success? Are they rebalancing their workforce with humans and agents? I think that it's a very interesting point that, yes, the agentic layer is very important, but it doesn't operate by itself. It operates with data, with a data cloud that has to be federated through your company to all your data sources. And humans, we're still here. I'm here. I just knocked on the table in case anybody wants to know this is not an agent. And I guess we're not very long. Is that actually going to be a good test? But just know that I am here. And you could call me or text me, Cash. And, I am using those apps too. Like I said, I've got the new Tableau is amazing, the Sales Cloud, the Service Cloud I use all of our products. Slack I was just on. And that idea that our apps and our data cloud and our agentic layer are all integrated together right now and delivering value right now to our number one customer zero, Salesforce. Wow, here we go. And are other vendors really doing that? Beware of the false agents. Just go out there and take a look. Who's really talking about it and who's really delivering? And this is a lot of engineering that has to get done to make this really work for a large enterprise like us. And Salesforce has done it. We are the number one AI CRM. We are the leader of the digital labor revolution. You can see it now with over 3,000 paid customers. And as you can see, the tens of trillions of transactions that happen in our data cloud. Incredible. So thank you very much for a great fiscal year 25. Thank you to Amy and Brian. It's amazing. And welcome to Robin onto the management team and to all of our new executives. Congratulations on their promotions. And we're ready for a great fiscal year 26. This is going to be the absolute year of Agentforce.
Thanks, Mark. Thanks, Cash. Thank you, everyone, for joining the call today, and we look forward to seeing everyone over the coming weeks.
Once again, that does conclude today's conference. Thank you all for your participation. You may now disconnect.
Nice. Okay. So it seems like that was the final Salesforce one. I do have to say, Mark Benioff is a very charismatic CEO. But he's preaching about these agents. Seems like it's still a pretty integral part of Salesforce's Sales Cloud, Service Cloud, so all these different types of clouds. Sure, I'd like to learn about your cloud offerings. So it does seem like it's the database of sorts. Singapore Airlines, AAA Washington. So this is actually a decent amount of companies using it, yeah. Gave example of 2,000, 20 million, signed with Teleco, around 7 million of that was agents. Okay. Close 5,000. So it's just November, December, January, February, so 4 months. So nearly half. Data, customers. Wow. Number. Brian Thompson. Shoot. So Brian, Salesforce. CEO, wow, he's been here for a while. Commercial sales. Very interesting. Chief Marketing Officer. Microsoft podcast. Satya talked about SaaS companies/models dying with agents. Mark said that's not happening. Apps are powerful for coming models. Fancy databases. Didn't really say why. Okay, so thanks for tuning in. I definitely need to get some sleep right now. So catch you guys in the next one. Bye.